Are you struggling to win games on FC25? Well, fear no more, because I'm leaking my full 5-step formula for winning games. Honestly, this formula has taken me over a week straight to craft, because just like you, I found the game super hard at the start, and I'm leaking how I went from losing every game to winning games comfortably, where I'm hoping to hit elite by the end of this week. And I did all that with this team, probably not even as good as yours. My whole team has just been brought with coins, no money spent. It's probably around a 100k coin team, starting with formula number 1, chemistry. Now, this might sound like a simple concept, but trust me, you need to listen up. This FIFA, I'm not sure if it's something to do with the roles or what is, but there is a massive difference between playing on 25 chem, for say, and 30 chem. In previous FIFAs, chemistry did matter, just not as much as it does now for some reason. When you're below around 28 chem, I found my players' passes started getting really sloppy. Just like simple passes seem to get 200 times harder than they are when you're on like 30 chem. And you just struggle to get the ball across the pitch and even start build-up play to attack. You've probably got a team right now that's below 30 chem or 28 chem or whatever you're on right now. Play a game on that, and then make a few adjustments and play on 30 chem and just look at the difference in the passing. And the other reason why you're going to want more chem is actually for the chemistry style. This is something that is very big that you just cannot be neglecting this FIFA. If you head over to Footbin like I'm on here, you can click on any of your players or you can search them in this box. I'm just going to click on Turam for example of this, and you can see the best chemistry style that everyone's putting on him. So as you can see, 70% of people are putting Hawk on him, 16% Hunter. Then you can kind of see which one's going to work for you. So Hunter, you can see exactly what the stats go up to. So his normal card is on 89 pace, but with a Hunter, he has 97 pace and 90 shooting. Just look at the difference between them two, and that's just by having him on full chem and adding a Hunter onto him. I didn't realise how important this was until I started put chemistry styles on my players, and I realised it makes a massive difference. Even them little stats, like when you're doing evos, those little stats really do add up. And that brings us onto our second hidden formula, shooting. Very different from previous FIFAs, and the meta has completely changed, so don't be surprised if you're finding it very hard to shoot this FIFA. Right out of the bat, we have gone far away from finesse shot meta that we had for the last FIFA, as the finesse shot this FIFA is absolutely awful. Don't even bother using the finesse shot. Just focus on shooting towards the far side of the goal. Don't need to try any fancy Trivela shot. I mean, the Trivela shot is probably the best shot other than the normal shot in the game at the moment. All you want to do is just focus on the far side of the goal. Goalkeeper movement has been nerfed. They only take a step or 2 steps when moving them, and keepers are very good at getting down to the near post. So always aim for that far side of the goal to maximize your chances of scoring. This is the same when the goalkeeper's running out at you. I mean, this is something I've been getting a lot. I've tried taking it round him, ball rolling, skill moves. I can't seem to figure a way to bug out the keeper like we did on the other FIFAs, where you literally just move the stick to the right or ball roll it and the keeper just falls on the floor. So instead, just shoot for the far side of the goal and it will go in. To add on to that as well, for some reason, shooting on the slightly to the left or the right side of the goal, when you're on the left side and you're shooting for that far side of the corner, the keeper just bugs out. I don't know why, but when you're on the left side of the pitch and you shoot for the far corner or the right side, the keeper just breaks. I mean, I'll put a clip on screen now of, I think it was Griezmann when I subbed him on. He just literally fully bugged the keeper out. But to increase your chances of scoring them as well, head over to your settings and you'll see it. I did it in that Griezmann clip as well. Make sure you've got timed finishing on. This is a must. Green time shots this FIFA, I'm not going to say they're broken, but they're very good. They seem to turn an average shot that maybe the keeper might catch straight into a bullet shot into the corner of the net. The amount of goals I have scored, so many of them would have just been simple catches for the goalkeeper. And you'll do a shot where you don't green time it, and then do one in the exact same position, same power, green time, and you will see the difference. Because honestly, you need to be green timing your shots this FIFA. It is an absolute must for maximizing power as well as accuracy. Now our shooting is on point. We're going to break into formula number 3, tactics. This is one a lot of you seem to be struggling with. It is actually hard because there is no answer to all the tactic questions, unfortunately. But what I can show you is my tactics and how you can actually adapt and understand the whole tactic system. If your tactics are already spot on, don't be afraid to use the time frame at the bottom to skip around to the next part, but I would recommend you staying because I am going to explain how everything works. So you've probably been seeing all these videos everywhere of everyone talking about, oh, the best tactics is, the best tactics that, and I'm just going to go through each of them and sort of just tell you how everything works and how you can adapt it to yourself. So first of all, tactical preset. I think it's quite clear. The best one to use is custom. I mean, I wouldn't really bother with any of these. Just use the custom ones and then pick whatever formation you want. I personally use a 4-3-1-2, but you can use wingers or whatever suits your playstyle best. I just like to overload the midfield this FIFA. I don't know why, but overloading the midfield just seems to be like the meta for some reason, because it means you have plenty of players when going up forwards into the build up, and then you've also got your fullbacks that can push up more like wingers in a way. Build up style. Now I recommend you test each one of these out and find which one's best for you. Now I played short passing last FIFA. I was doing slow build-up play, and that was kind of the meta. This FIFA, short passing seems really, really poor. I don't know why, but players don't seem to move at all, so I'd probably stay away from short passing. Instead, try out balanced and counter and see which works best for you. I actually think counter probably works best for me, just because players push up a bit quicker and make more runs, which is just perfect for me. But I usually sit on balanced, and if I find myself like losing in a game or I need a big comeback, I'll often switch it to counter just to kind of switch up the way I'm playing. Defensive approach. Now, the game recommend deep, balanced, high, and aggressive. You'll see a lot of people playing aggressive and high straight off the bat. Now, the problem with playing these straight away is your players are going to be absolutely screwed come the 70th, 80th minute. Especially when I'm making subs of like Griezmann. I mean, I did Watt SBC. She's got over like 90 something pace with all her chem styles on. Dybala and stuff coming on. These players are going to absolutely screw your centre halves up. So play balanced, and then when it comes 70th, 80th minute, go high or aggressive. If you're looking to get 1, maybe 2 goals, switch to high. If you need like 3 goals plus, go aggressive and really, really push for it, because your players will go crazy with the press on aggressive and you'll win the ball back a lot, but it uses a lot of stamina, which obviously doesn't matter when you've got like 20 minutes left anyway. So I recommend playing with balance for 60-70 minutes. Then the player roles. Now, let's start with the strikers. I've tried them all, and Poacher, I don't know, Poacher, the plays just seem to get a little bit lost. False 9, I don't know, just seemed a little bit pointless to me. Target forward was alright, but again, the player tended to get a little bit lost. So I recommend just putting your strikers on advanced forward. This just seems the best one. I mean, if you've got target forward plus or something, try it out and see what it's like for you. But I think advanced forward is the best. Elise, he hasn't really got any pluses, but I've got him on playmaker, just because he kind of gets himself in and around just behind the strikers to create chances. I know a lot of people really, really like Shadow Striker as well, so just test them 2 out if you do have cams. And if you've got wingers as well, inside forward seems to be very good, but obviously I can't really comment on that as I don't play them. In terms of midfield, playmaker and box-to-box seem the 2 sort of key ones. I recommend just mainly putting your players onto what they want to be on. So if they're a box-to-box plus, play them on a box-to-box. Or if they're playmaker plus, play them on playmaker. I think quite a few of them, deep line playmaker is a really, really good one as well. A lot of CGMs have this, and trust me, they get in some really good positions to play balls. But just make sure the balance seems right. Make sure you've got playmakers, you've got your box-to-box, you've potentially got holding. Deep line playmaker is a really good one. Holding is absolutely class. It is so hard to break down a holding if you've got CDM. Definitely put them on holding or deep line playmaker. Then I've got Bernardo Silva actually on half winger. I mean, I've tried him on a few different things, but he's a plus half winger, and it seems to work because he just drifts out wide. Now, let's talk about our fullbacks. I think it seems best to put your fullbacks on attacking or false back this FIFA, depending on what they got. Dalot's got false back plus, and Grimaldo's got attacking wing back, and they kind of get themselves up and down, and it works very well, especially if you got a 5 back as well. I mean, this is what I look like with the ball. As you'll see, Garcia, Dalot, and Silva all come out very, very short to each other, very close. Silva tends to push up the wing as well, because I can use LB to push him up. And then Grimaldo stays out nice and wide, and we kind of get like a nice little shape going on here that tends to work quite well for me. Usually if the balance looks a little bit off, like when you change it to with ball, maybe change it up a little bit, but this tends to work for me, so I'm not too worried. Finally, the centre halves. I mean, I think the best one to do is double ball playing defender, just because they get into places to move around and stuff. And then goalkeeper, just put him on whatever he's best. Sweeper keeper and goalkeeper are both very good. Now moving on to Formula 4 build-up play, something I struggle with big time at the start of EAFC, but here's how I overcome that. First of all, passing. Do not try doing blind or silly turn passes. They try to make the game more realistic in the sense that players can't do 180 spin passes. In fact, players just about scrape 90-degree passes. Make sure you're looking at the player you want to pass the ball to. We say it every single FIFA, but especially this FIFA, you're massively going to decrease your chances of keeping the ball if you are not looking at the player, or at least in the space that you're trying to get the ball to. The other thing is, don't play things super long. You can't play a super long pass along the floor. You're going to have to ping it wide, or you're going to have to make a few short passes beforehand before you can just ping it, because you'll just lose it in a silly position. The amount of times playing out from the back, I tried to do some sort of long ground pass along the floor, and I literally just got intercepted, and it's ended up in the back of my net. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I learned that the hard way, and I cut that out nice and quickly. Then touches are the next thing I want to talk about. Super important this FIFA. I've got 2 tips for touches. First of all, holding down RT, or I think R2 on PlayStation controller. When you hold that when receiving the ball, you need to understand your player touches the ball out to a certain direction. Your player essentially takes a big touch. A lot of people don't know that when you hold it down, they take that big touch. So you need to know when to hold it down and when not to. That way, you don't just smack the ball into your opponent or do some impossible turn with the ball. And that's probably why, if you've ever wondered what your player was doing when they took a really bad touch, this was probably what it was. If you're receiving the ball in a tight space, sometimes holding down RT, when there is no space to dribble into, you're just going to absolutely shaft yourself. Do not hold the sprint button. This often tends to be in the box if there is no space to dribble into. You'll take a big touch and more likely than not get crowded out. Once receiving the ball, use the controlled dribble if you're in a tight space, or just use the normal stick. Every other time though, you need to make sure you're pushing the stick into the space. So I'm not saying don't use the RT, just make sure you're using the RT to push into space rather than knocking it into your opponent, or just cut out essentially altogether when you're in a tight area and you need to keep the ball close to your feet. I see people receive the ball and just push the stick towards their opponent to do some sort of impossible turn. Do not do this. It is so good using RT to essentially boost your player into a bit of space behind your defender when picking up the ball, and often it can get you in behind. So make sure when you're in the box as well, if you want to turn, you push your stick into the space away from your opponent. And finally, formula number 5. We haven't half saved the best for last. Making comebacks and analysing your opponent. I mean, don't tell me I don't treat you at the end of these videos, because this is near enough a double tip in one right here. You're getting 2 formulas in one. Now, starting off with the start of the game, let's talk analysis. How can we analyse our opponents to find weaknesses? What do I actually do? Because this is super important. If you want to get to Elite Division or compete and win more games in EFC, especially when it comes to Weekend League, it all starts from the team show page. When you see your opponent's page, have a look at his fullbacks, look at his centre-backs, see his midfield, find where he is strong and where he's weak. Let me just find a random team for you now. Right, so I've just gone on Twitter and I found this guy who has actually posted his team, and I just want you guys to take a second to have a look at this team and just try and find where the weaknesses are here. So obviously up front, he's got A bit of a sweaty forward two here, actually, of Darwin Nunez Evoed, as well as Griezmann. Then he's got KDB, as well as Odegaard, more in the attacking roles, with Tchouaméni probably sitting back in the holding role here. Then he's gone for a back five as well. This is actually a horrible team to play against. But from here, what would you do to try and punish this guy? Pause the video if you have to, but I'm going to tell you what to do. Now, first of all, we're going to have a look at this. KDB and Odegaard both have I think both of them have around 70 defending. So these two here are not going to be the people that are going to be getting in the way, intercepting passes, tackling you. They've essentially only got Tchouaméni in the midfield. I'm assuming he's potentially got his Mendy as well as his Trent playing as fullbacks, attacking fullbacks, or Trent could be actually playing as a false back, but I think he would be a plus. I think he's got that plus plus. I mean, sometimes when you load into game, it does tell you, but just have a look here. Now, Mendy is the worst defender here. Ruben Dias in the midfield, straight down the middle. So, just playing down the middle, we're going to come against Tchouaméni as well as Ruben Dias. There is no point in me trying to play straight down here when I can play balls out wide, where I'm going to have Konate, his worst defender of the three, as well as Mendy, his worst fullback. This is the side to target. He's got KDB with 70 passing. We should be able to dominate the midfield here and get the balls out wide. I mean, we should be able to catch Trent lacking when he goes forward. So switching to the counter attacking early on here in the game could actually be very beneficial by pausing and then going to your tactics. Try and catch these two lacking. The front three, this is where you want to target. Both of these two are obviously the weaker. Ruben Dias is a bit of a goat on the game. Right, I've got another team up to kind of analyse here. As you can see, he's got a front three here, mainly lone players. This team is a lot worse, just to kind of show you. He's got Rice here on the left side, as well as a better fullback and a good centre-back. So targeting this side here, this is where he's going to be strong. What you want to do is go down the left, where he's got a 77 rated centre back, 76 rated right back, as well as an 82 centre mid, rather than coming against Declan Rice. I mean, it's going to be so much easier to attack this side, and when you can just analyse that and you don't half make the game so much easier for yourself. Now, once you've analysed those teams, we need to see what's happening in game. Is his Trent pushing high up? Where can we open up the space? All it takes is you to find one weakness of his, and you can score 3-4 goals in a matter of 5-10 minutes. Can he not defend the controlled dribble? The first 20 minutes of the game, I'm not even joking, should fully be committed to testing things. Go out wide, go for the middle, see what works. I mean, you can kind of get a gist of his weaker side just by looking at his team, and then rinse and repeat what works. So many times people get a goal from one area, they don't even know what they did to get the goal. They just played the game. You need to understand what you actually did in the build-up to get that goal, because this will help you exploit your opponent and get even more goals. Finally, the comeback. I'm not even joking. I saved this last because I'm the absolute GOAT when it comes to making comebacks. There is no guy in the world better than me right now to teach you how to come back in this game. The most ridiculous one was actually earlier. I was playing a guy 6-1 down, 75th minute. I make a few changes, which I'll explain to you in a second. I win the game 7-6. I scored 6 goals in 25 minutes, just one after the other. And let me tell you how. First of all, you need a good bench. Bench players are really the foundations of making a comeback. If you look at my squad, you'll actually see I did the what SBC. I mean, for her, I literally just used a little bit of fodder in the club. But look, she's got 90 pace with the Hunter as well. I think she's got like 98 pace, which is absolutely ridiculous to bring on late in the game. Then I've got Griezmann coming on with 80 pace, 88 shooting. I should probably get a Hunter on him as well, to be fair, to boost his pace and his shooting even more. Again, is absolutely ridiculous. Then I'll usually make a change of a defensive player. So my weakest midfielder is Fratesi. So again, if you're analysing my team, you'll see Fratesi's the weak link, and you should go down that side, as well as Grimaldo as well defensively. He's alright, but he's not that great. So usually I'll take Fratesi off, and then I will put Walsh here, and I will have Alex Garcia there. And then the final changes I'll make is Dybala will go into the cam, and then sometimes I will even bring on like an extra centre back as well, because Ruben Dias tends to be huffing and puffing at the end of the game. So there we go, 5 subs. This will be the team I'm ending on. Now, to have these players like a 98 pace player, I mean, Dybala is absolutely class. His passing late on is just quality. Even Welsh, just to win the ball back and ping them, is absolutely class. And then Koundé is just great to bring on, just to solidify that back and win me the ball back a bit quicker. Then usually I'll go over to my team management, and depending on how many goals, I will actually switch it to... Usually I'll probably be on counter, or sometimes I'll switch to counter depending on what the game's like. But I'll bump my defensive approach up. Now, if I need 1 or 2 goals, I will push it up to high. This will use more stamina, but the players will press and it won't drag too many players out. If I'm needing, like, let's say I need 2-3 goals in 25 minutes, I will go to aggressive. Players will push up very, very quickly. They will play aggressive. They'll use a lot of stamina, but you've literally got 3 of your attackers that are going to be on max stamina late on to press. It absolutely destroys teams, and that's how I was able to score literally like 6 goals to come back against that guy, because I literally bumped it to aggressive. I think for that game I might have even went to 100% as well, actually. And that is the absolute art to making a comeback in FIFA. Make sure you've got some really, really good subs to bring on. And then all you have to do is bump a couple of your settings, and that is literally it. Anyways, if you found literally just one of these formulas helpful, whether it was the last one, the comeback one, whatever it is, please, please, please support me, support the channel, like the video, subscribe, and comment down below something, as I do respond to every single comment. And just tell me that you watched the end, because I wonder how many of you actually get to the end of these videos.